What is up, gentlemen?
What is going on? What it is, what it is. Welcome to another episode of the best podcast out there right now, the Triple Threat Theory podcast. We are just coming off a great and an amazing, important weekend. And what do I mean by that? We had Backlash in St. Louis, our
Mm-hmm.
own Tim. It was actually at Backlash, which was incredible. It looked like insane. He actually was in a sweet seat, y'all. He wasn't just in any seat. He was in the sweet seats.
Yeah,
But
that
we are
sweet seat.
here because he had the sweet seats. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Raw, and we're going to have a couple theories for tonight. It's going to be great. So we're going to talk about all the beatings and all the yeetings. So let's get this
Whoa.
thing going.
That's dope, man. Volume's good.
Volume's good?
So let's go.
Even with us talking?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice, cool.
Doing good.
Glad to hear.
All right. Let's do
A lot
this.
better than last week.
Go.
Last week I made a goof and I forgot to adjust the audio.
Shout out to the people that are following us that actually let us know. Like, we got some pretty good following that's starting to happen. One of our good friends, shout out to Matt. We're going to shout out Matt right now. I know that
Tracy.
he's probably going to be watching this. Matt Tracy. He's a big wrestling fan, great dude. He was letting us know, like, man, I just wanted to hear exactly what you guys were saying. Got some hey, we like the beats, man, but you can't hear when we're talking about the eats. So
Exactly.
gotta get that going. So I don't know how many times I'm going to say that tonight, but there you go. But tonight we're going to recap about Backlash, about all the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to talk about what happened the Raw after Backlash. We just got done watching, and then of course we're going to always have a couple theories of what we think is going to happen after this. So let's go right into Backlash. First off, Tim, I shouldn't be talking about this. You should be talking about this. Me and Abby were just talking, about how St. Louis showed up. Like,
Yeah.
the people of St. Louis, the people that showed up there, when I say showed up, like, the one thing that you told me is, like, people were already cheering, like, when there was still, like, 40, 30 minutes before the PL even started. So why don't you just talk about the atmosphere, talk about the experience that you had, and then we'll get into the matches.
Yeah, I mean, St. Louis, obviously, I feel like they're like the standard for like an audience now, at least in like the United States. Because it's like everybody is like, yo, get on St. Louis's level. I mean, whenever like John Cena would show up on like a graphic, they would just immediately start booing, going crazy. When the freaking St. Louis Arch showed up on like a sky cam view between like commercial breaks and they would show it up there, people would start cheering like, yeah, that's our arch. Like they're freaking out. I'm like, dude, this is insane.
We live there.
We live there.
He said St. Louis. Oh, we live in St. Louis.
That's where we
Yay!
live.
That's where we live.
They showed our city. They showed.
Exactly.
Shout out to The Rock.
Shout
What a
out to The
great-
Rock.
that was
Shout
a
out to
great
the final
promo.
boss.
Oh, we live in Toronto. Oh, that's where we live.
Shut up.
Exactly. And
Oh.
dude, I got to see the GOAT live in person, dude,
There
for like
we
one of the
go.
greatest. I mean, he was there to help, defend the belt. You know what I mean? And by
Bro,
belt,
the
I mean
funny
the
thing is-
Intercontinental Championship when El Grande Americano stepped up and helped Dom retain the belt. Oh my gosh, I could not believe that I got to witness
Hey,
just one of the greatest.
Tim called that one. He called that one. He said EGA was gonna show up.
He
and
did.
Show
He
out.
showed up. He called it. Tim called it. So I can't complain about that. The closest I got to seeing him was El Grande African Americano at the wedding that I was DJing.
Wait a minute. Wait, show everybody what you're talking about. You got a video?
Oh yeah, come
People
on.
need to
now. Let's see if
understand
we can do this real quick.
who El Grande African
Bro,
Americano
this
is.
We need context for that. We need context.
Where's this video at? This guy he showed up, man. He showed up. Look at this dude. Look at this guy. Look at
Oh
him.
my God! It's
Look at that guy.
Oh,
in the lucha mask.
Bro,
El
that's
Grande
he's doing the
African
penta dance, bro.
Americano.
Look,
That's
as close as
fire,
I
bro.
got to an El Grande America. I literally was yelling at him at the wedding while I was DJing, going, "Come on, El Grande!
Oh my
Come
God.
on, El Grande!"
You probably had no idea what you're talking about. You're just like,
Actually, so fun fact, I didn't talk to you guys about this. He did know that. So,
Oh, shoot.
So the wedding that I did, shout out to so that was the day before Backlash. Shout out to Bryce and Riley and their wedding. Bryce, I asked him what he's doing for the honeymoon. He's like, "Oh, we don't leave until Monday." I said, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm going to Backlash." I was like, "Bro, the next day after your wedding, you're going to Backlash." I
Dude,
was
that's
like,
amazing.
and one of his wedding photos was him acting like Roman Reigns, and his groomsmen were putting the ones up.
That's
It
dope.
was great. It was great. So
Respect.
because since he's a big wrestling fan, that guy showed up in a luchador mask for his wedding.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, the
All right, back to you, Tim.
yeah, one of the some of the really exciting things, I don't know, like obviously got to see Randy and John Cena put on a great show. The Fatal 4-Way between
Man.
Fatu, Priest, McIntyre, LA Knight, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, every single one of those guys got like a huge pop whenever they came out too, which was awesome. It wasn't like anyone was like, like hated anyone that came out. It was just like, the crowd was super into it the whole entire night. Man, I'm trying to think what else.
It came off that way on TV.
Yeah, I was texting you
yeah.
and I was like, how's it sound? Like, does it sound as loud as it sounds in here? Because like there were times where like I didn't even feel like I had to participate because it was so loud. I was like, what noise am I even adding to this? I was like, I don't know. It was really cool though. One of my favorite experiences, I think, at a wrestling event so far. I've been to 3 now, and that's probably my favorite one.
Because that was your first PLE, right?
My
You've never
first
been to a
PLE.
PLE. You've been to Raw and you went to SmackDown we went together. So that was your first PLE. It's a whole nother level.
First PLE,
PLE
and
is
I'm in a
different,
suite.
yeah.
In a suite.
I think the
baby.
last time that I went to 2 PLEs in St. Louis. Sorry, 3 PLEs in St. Louis. One of them, I think that Abby might be really jealous that I was at this one. Survivor Series when Sting came back
I hate you.
was in St. Louis.
Yeah, I hate you.
I went to Money in the Bank when it was the first women's Money in the Bank match where
Dang.
Carmella won because of what's that goofy dude?
James
James
Ellsworth.
Ellsworth going up the ladder. I saw that live with my brother, and then my last PLE that I went, actually Abby and me were together.
We
to
went
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, yeah.
And that was honestly being in the bigger arena there. that was huge. So
Yeah, you did 4 of the 5. You did 3 of the 5 big 5. You're just missing SummerSlam and WrestleMania.
and WrestleMania. So I'm going to have to travel
Because
somewhere for that.
they're trying to count Money in the Bank like a big big PLE.
Yeah.
They call it the Big 5. So
Yeah. Where is Money in the Bank? Oh, it's in LA this year.
it's in LA. Yeah.
And the Intuit. Yeah.
Intuit.
They're trying to make that thing big. So
Yeah, I mean, they already did a show there this year, so they're going right back.
Man, one of my favorite walkout moments from Saturday night at Backlash was Penta.
Yeah.
Penta had like, I don't know, like his
You got to see that
walkout.
live. That's sick.
His walkout for that one, I think, was one of the coolest that he's ever had since joining the main roster and up in Raw
He
and
had
everything.
a sick outfit on too.
And
He
it was like
did.
the lighting, the fire behind him, and like he did the woo, like, dude.
I think that entrance, to Tim's point, even on TV, that's the one they got like as perfect as they can.
yeah,
Because other times the cuts are not right there. Like you can see the thing behind him with the
Yeah.
sparks, but that one they got it like right with the camera angles and everything.
Yeah, him and Ray
Settle.
Phoenix, they have some killer. Yeah, him and
Yeah.
Ray Phoenix, him and his brother, they got killer entrances that are very intentional.
the only thing that I didn't like that they did with the camera angle was after the fact they didn't zoom back out to get his walk. Like they just had like torso up for the walk. I was like, that's the only thing they were missing right
Yeah.
there. So,
You gotta get the walk, bro. You gotta get the walk.
mhm.
No, but it was so dope for you to be there, bro. You got to see John Cena and Orton for what is the last time.
I didn't see John
Incredible.
Cena.
The never
was-
seen 17.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh yeah, had to throw it in there. They'll never die.
Yeah.
All right, so what'd you guys think of Backlash though? Like, give it a grade.
Ooh, grade out of what, like 10 or 5, or what do you want to do? You want to do a 5-star like Dave Meltzer would do?
No, don't do that because Seth Rollins doesn't like him.
You don't like Dave Meltzer.
You don't like
Dave
those.
Meltzer don't give none of them 5 stars. It's wild that he's never had a 5
Actually,
star.
he gave the Seth Rollins gave the triple threat match a 5 star.
That's probably Seth Rollins' first 5 star. That's
according to Dave.
According to Dave.
In reality, Seth has put on some 5-star matches, bro.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Cody Rhodes Seth Rollins Hell in the Cell match wasn't a 5 star.
That was
stupid.
When the match started, it was already a 3-star match because of the injury. They did everything else in there, bro. That was a 5-star match.
The fact that they gave CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's Hell in a Cell match a 5-star, that's why it makes me go like, and Cody's and Seth wasn't, like, they were both just as good. So
yes.
I would.
So let's
I would give it a 4. Personally, and I'm not talking about scale wise, like size of the card and everything like that. The reason why it's a 4 is I feel like there was a couple things that made me feel a little weird during the during the actual.
You talking about Backlash?
Yeah, Backlash.
Yeah, shoot your shot. What's up?
So, the way that Becky and Lyra ended, it felt like that wasn't how it was supposed to end. Whenever I was watching it and you were in the room, it felt like it's just weird everywhere. Like everyone just was like, that didn't seem like it ended the way that we were supposed to end that, you know? And then the other thing was Gunther and Pat McAfee.
What about it?
So I liked the match. I was entertained by the match. There was a couple things about it that to me just felt like I don't know who this is helping, honestly, because Pat was back tonight on Raw. Gunther comes back from a match with Pat McAfee to challenge Jey Uso for a rematch. To me, that felt weird. So
it was,
I'm like,
it is kind of weird.
If I'm Jey Uso, I would have mentioned that in my promo, like with him, like, because Gunther was saying stuff like, I'm gonna show you where you belong or whatever, something along those lines. And then Jay's like, where I belong is right here. And he was talking about like how he's holding the belt and everything. I would have been like, if it was me, I would have been like, where I belong, brother, you be a commentator. I'm like, you be a commentator who's got as many moves, if not less than Jay. But
Jay can't get in any talk in his promos because people are too busy eating.
Yeah, it's wild.
But I agree with you, Tim. Once you see the match, the Gunther Pat match, you're like, okay, I get the payoff from the interactions with the commentators, but I thought it would help. The only way it would have helped Gunther is if it was a squash.
Yeah.
And they let Pat get some momentum in the match, and from a logistics standpoint, you're like, there's no way. There's no way that Pat's on an offensive with Gunther. I don't believe this. So it's like, who did this help? I'm with you on that. It ended well, with the choking him out. I wanted Gunther to beat him up more though. Like after the match, I wanted more
It made Gunther look like it didn't do anything for him. It did nothing. If anything, it actually made him look worse. It made him feel like not as strong as because Pat McAfee, they made it feel believable that he was going to get out of the choke. And I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense.
He did the whole hand thing,
the Hulk Hogan, like,
and I was like, bro,
I was like,
no way.
What? I was like, great for Pat. He's living his dream, but it's like, this does nothing for the storyline.
But there have been actual wrestlers who passed out the moment Gunther did it.
Yep.
And Pat McAfee can fight it.
That's wild, dude.
So
that's wild.
I'm with you on that.
I'm very happy with how. I know that the finish was weird, but the Becky Lyra match was actually, I loved it. I thought it was a great match. I thought they did a great job together, and that it was just. It needed to be that good, and it was. I'm very, very thankful that it was that good.
Yeah, it was. I didn't have a problem really with it. It just like the ending of it felt kind of flat, like something.
I agree.
Like I don't know, something was weird about it.
Do you
Now, who
do
knows?
you have
But
a
what's up?
sorry, Tim, what was your being live in the room? What was
Yeah.
your favorite match? Like, so we're talking. So when I asked this question, saying being live in the room, we're going to talk about our favorite match. But being live in the room, so that means you had atmosphere, like just the way the match went down, all that stuff. What would you say was the best match? Being live in the room, and from your point of view.
I think it would probably be the Fatal 4-Way, the first one, just because,
Oof.
probably just because of like how excited everyone was for the card to get started, and then like the guys all delivered. You also had the reveal with Cobb coming out there, which
That
first,
was wild.
which for I showed this to Abby too. I'm like, man, this is the kind of energy I felt from that.
There it
Like,
is.
why does it look so similar to me? I
Stop.
don't even know.
I can't even about that.
I had totally forgot about him. I've read somewhere that Jeff Cobb's a free agent, and then when he showed up, I was like, "Oh shoot, that's dope." It's like it keeps the story going, and I hope this kind of builds Solo back up, because I hate what they've done to Solo in the last 4 months.
Yeah,
Do I get to talk about our first theory of the night with that whole thing?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Okay.
I think.
All right. First theory of the night.
I think
Go
we
ahead,
all
say
agree
it.
with
I
it.
think it's the
Go
same
ahead.
one.
First off, shout out to doing a continuous bloodline thing for the first time with somebody who's actually not a part of the bloodline.
Wait,
he
Sami
is
Zayn?
Oh, I forgot about Sami Zayn. I'm sorry, Sammy. My bad. I'm sorry, Sam. So somebody who looks like they should be in the bloodline, but they're not because they're Filipino. So but he's from Hawaii. So I mean, he's kind of got the the roots of, like, he was born and raised in Hawaii. But anyway, so Jeff Cobb, I believe, is going to be the replacement of Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
This is the turning point to have Jacob Fatu have a couple people do some pretty dang good singles matches for the U.S. title. Jeff Cobb can be one, and now Solo can be one. But I believe that Solo is going to get a singles match somewhere down the line with Jacob Fatu becoming face, and Solo finally establishing himself as an actual good heel, not a "we want Roman" heel or "you're not Roman" heel type of persona, but actually like Solo actually trying to be a heel with Jeff Cobb in his corner. And what I love about it is I think that Solo's going to get that title
Yes.
because of Jeff Cobb.
Yes.
Jeff Cobb is going to Jacob Fatu, and that's how that's going to go down. That's my theory.
Dude, that'll make
I'm
like
building on that
Fatu
theory.
already more loved. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I think Jacob Fatu is gonna get the Jey Uso treatment. They're gonna put a rocket on him and send him to the moon. They're gonna. I think Solo Jacob SummerSlam is for the U.S. title, and Solo wins.
Yeah.
And then Fatu moves up to the main card, starts feuding with big names, and he probably will become the Iron Man for Royal Rumble, like be the longest one there, probably runner up, top 4, whatever. He's gonna get a big push. Push.
Yeah.
'Cause like you said, they're gonna turn him face, and man, he's gonna go far.
He will.
Yeah.
He will. I
far.
think so.
Because
I love. Yeah.
he has the same ability on the mic that Jay has. I'd give the edge to Fatu just because of the passion he says with it. But man, his in-ring skills way better than Jay. Way better than Jay.
He's got way more in the tank. And it's pretty sweet to see Jacob come up like he did, and he's been killing it since day one when he first got introduced. So
I don't know, man. I
sweet,
kind of
man.
feel like he's nothing without Solo and the Bloodline. You know?
Really?
No, I'm just
Yeah,
playing.
he's bluffing.
Oh, okay. I was like, hey man, shoot your shot, bro.
That's
Tee
the
it
whole
up.
Look.
that's the whole like reason why Solo keeps kind of interacting is because he's like the only reason why you got that belt is because of us, but not in like a.
Yeah,
He's kind of doing
We
more like a
watch out for
prideful way, but yeah,
watch out for SmackDown because Solo's gonna do that. Reason why you got to keep that belt is because I brought Jeff Cobb into the bloodline and blah blah blah. Like you wouldn't have. Like here we go.
They're gonna tease that out.
Here
They're gonna
we
tease it
go.
out. Yep.
So
They're gonna tease it out.
so
It felt
yeah,
for me. It felt like a. It felt like an. It felt like a house show, honestly.
wow.
Backlash
a-
as a whole.
Televised.
In a
yeah,
good way.
as a,
In a good way.
it was in a good way because I think they were banking on just hey Cena Orton one last time. This is our sell. This is our draw,
Yeah,
and it worked.
It did.
Um,
Yeah.
But we got every match right. There was no changes other than the Jeff Cobb thing. Like it was
Yeah.
pretty. Like I feel like this is the same type of card we're gonna see at Saturday night's main event,
Yeah. I don't think.
which is
anybody-
another
yeah. I don't.
glorified house show. So
yeah,
nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. Nothing wrong
No.
with it. Some storylines did progress. Like we got more of the Becky Lyra thing that's gonna drag out. The Fatal Four Way match again. I think for me was the match of the night for me was the Fatal Four Way.
Which is crazy because it was the first match.
It was like
yeah.
I mean the other matches didn't disappoint, but that was the best match. It was the
It
best.
just
match.
delivered so well. It was just, especially with
Yeah.
dude. So like Priest and McIntyre after their like slam like off like the side out and like the crowd on like the tables that were underneath like the curtains.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
So I'm watching like because everything is going on after the slam with Fatu, LA Knight out there in the ring, Solo and Cobb out there on the side as well, and like I'm watching and everything is up to like just those two to finish it off now. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking. I'm like, those two over here, they still hadn't even gotten up. They were laying down
dead.
like just dead for like
Died.
it felt like
Died.
10 minutes. I
Throw-
was like,
throw up the
It went
throw up
to-
the X.
it went
Throw
to
up the X
commercial
for those
break
guys.
and then finally like the lights went down. I think they got up during that part, but like it took like a minute for those guys to move.
Yeah. Yeah. So, cool, awesome. So, I mean, before we get into Raw, we basically just talked about all the matches except for one, which is we kind of hinted around about it. How do we feel about the main event? How do we feel about Randy and Cena for the final time? How do we feel about it with the way they were storytelling in their match? How do we feel about like just the overall match overall? How do we feel about like the craziness that was happening? We all knew there was going to be some ridiculousness that was going to happen. The only way that John Cena was going to win that match was to like have something ridiculous happen, and there was a lot of crazy that happened in that match.
Yeah.
The only trope I have with it is I want them to move away from the low blow. Like I want them to move. I
I want
get
to. There's
I
two
get why
things.
they're doing it. John Cena's trying to ruin. Like the ending makes sense if for John Cena because he wants to ruin wrestling. It's not going to end the way we want it. Like blah, etc. He's building on that, which I understand. I do know that he's going to do things that are unlike John Cena during this run as a heel. But I do want them to move away from the low blow.
There's
Yeah.
another
like
thing
my
I want.
only thing.
There's another thing I want him to move away from. There's one more thing as well. I want him to move away from using the belt to hit people in the face with to win every single time. He did that
Right.
with Cody.
Yes.
He won after a belt shot.
Mhm.
Apparently, so here's the deal. We've been watching wrestling for way too long, right? John Cena is the first person I think that when he hits somebody with the belt, they're not going to get up or they're not going to kick out. For some strange reason,
It's
when
only
John
him,
Cena
yeah.
hits with the belt, and the ref still took his sweet butt time to get up there to do it.
It was a slow
he
count, yeah.
still got the 3 count. I'm
Yeah.
like, Randy was like Randy's no scrub. Randy was down for a long time, and what? That's how it. So I think they're like you said, Abby. Like you said, I really believe that they're playing off of the whole John Cena's ruining wrestling. He is because he's using this stupid belt to do everything, and then it's like 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's how that match ends. That's how he's ruining wrestling because
Yeah.
the ends of the matches just completely just suck. just like your light that just keeps on going off. But
This light is dead. Yeah, this light is dead.
but yeah, man, okay, Tim. Another question I have to ask you since you're in the room. When he RKO'd the freaking whole staff,
Oh
I
yeah,
just need to know how that atmosphere felt in there to hear like 4 or 5 RKOs in a row like that.
dude. It was like everyone was like the kids that were like sitting next to me were like, like, do it, Randy, RKO everyone, do it. Listen to the voices, listen to them. Like it was like everyone was like, yes, come on, Randy, go crazy, go crazy. And so, but
Crash
whenever
out season.
whenever it started happening, everyone was like ah, ah, like no one was yelling any words. It was just like screaming, and it was just like excitement for what was going on because everyone was like, yes, kill them all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. What I love about when that happened, so Tim, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but like, did you know the people that he? I'll talk about it here in a second. Did you know the people that he RKO'd in the ring? Like, you personally know who the people were? Like,
There were security
why
guards.
it felt so good?
No.
Do you,
Were they?
okay, so I'm here. So this is for everybody out here on the podcast. Every person that he RKO'd were former wrestlers
Oh, really?
and like big time wrestlers. Nick Aldis,
Oh,
Hurricane Helms.
oh yeah. I didn't see him there.
Um,
No, he's a producer, so
yeah, he's a producer. Oh my gosh, I just lost.
J&J Security was there too.
Yes.
What's his name? Jeff.
J&J Security.
Jamie.
No, not Jeff.
Jamie
It was
Noble.
Jamie Noble.
Yeah.
Jamie Noble. And then I'm missing one. Oh, Davari.
Really?
Yeah, those were
Oh,
the guys that were out
shoot.
there. So you had Nick Aldis got the first one, then Hurricane got the second, then Davari got the third, then Jamie Noble got the last one, and they all had perfect sells because they're incredible wrestlers.
Right, right.
And then honestly, R-Truth sold the snot out of that RKO when he flopped.
I forgot about
It
R-Truth.
looked great when he came out. Dude,
Oh, he
R-Truth,
came out to
dude.
protect Cena from the punt. That's right.
Dude,
Yeah, yeah.
R.I.P. to R-Truth. This is another reason, people, why after every PLE you should watch the post interviews because that was chef's kiss. That was chef's kiss
Yeah,
what happened. Like poor R. So now let's talk about theories again. R-Truth just got hit by his
Hero.
mentor,
His childhood hero.
his childhood hero got thrown through a table. So now, Truth, I don't even know if you're going to ever watch this, but I'm talking directly to you. You got two choices, bro. You either loved that happened to you, that your childhood hero hit you with the F. I almost called it the FU.
It's the
Which is
AA,
what
bro.
it's called, the AA. Sorry, PG era. Sorry. The AA, the attitude adjustment, or you take that and have aggression and you get him back and you make
Ruthless.
him lose his title at some point this year and people go
Whoa,
nuts.
that's a good theory right there, dude.
Oh.
You be the reason why he loses the title, R-Truth.
I didn't even
You be
think
the
of
reason.
that.
Does R-Truth,
Kenyn.
dude? Does R-Truth like?
It's set
was
up
thinking-
for it.
I was sitting there thinking like he either becomes. I thought you were about to like allude to like he's gonna become a heel now. I was like, oh okay.
No.
But
He's
like,
going to be so ticked off because think about it. Jimmy has been trying to get in his mind to tell him that John Cena's not the same John Cena.
yeah,
People have been trying to get to R-Truth. R-Truth is the key,
Mhm.
y'all. R-Truth at some point is going to cost and distract John Cena, or he's going to make John Cena realize he should not be a bad guy anymore. Something's going to happen with R-Truth. This is not the end of R-Truth.
Well, they
R-Truth, we're
teased
gonna-
it a little bit. Some of the camera work. Tim was asking me when the show finished, when Cena finished, they put the trademark thing up, the executive producers, and then it went to black. And what they're doing now at PLEs is go to black, and then come right back to the
back.
to the ring. And Cena
Yeah.
was still in there. He came out and then came back in, did his little mic thing, rolled out, stayed in the ring. The camera like stayed on his face, and the face he had was like, dang, is this who I really am now? Is this what
Yeah.
I'm doing?
Yeah.
It's too late to turn back. Like it was almost like Anakin Skywalker-ish. Like,
Ooh, good call. Good call.
The
bro, like dark
Return of the
side.
Jedi.
It's like, bro, I already killed them younglings. I can't go back. I
Can't go back.
I just
I'm
destroyed our
committed, bro.
truth. I can't go back. Our
Dude,
truth is
So,
dead. I
bro,
can't go
the
back.
truth theory. Oh my
I
gosh.
love that
Could you
actually.
imagine if he is the
The-
part of this? Like,
Bro, he's the new Luke.
oh my god! Watch him.
He's
Watch him. Watch him. Watch our truth. Watch our truth's new childhood hero be Cody Rhodes. And
That's what I'm
if he
saying,
helps
dude.
him out, get his
Oh
belt
my
back.
god.
Watch it happen. Watch it happen.
And that's crazy.
It'd
And
be
it's good.
wild. This is
It's
a
so
Tim
good.
theory, and I sound like Tim right now. This is a Tim triple threat podcast theory. I think it's that out there that it actually might happen. And let me
I'm proud
talk
of you,
to
man.
You know what? I'm gonna be like McGregor off of Busted Open right now. Screw you guys. You two with your Goldberg crap that you threw at me.
Oh.
You know what? I'm calling you both out right now. I'm doing my McGregor right now. You guys
Oh.
suck. All right? Because I really believed while I am DJing my butt off and I'm getting these bold letters saying it's happening and I'm freaking out. And then 3 hours later, I have to go watch Backlash. And guess what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. Pat McAfee looked like a gold mine, and Gunther looked like a scrub and was wanting to give him his kudos, and there was no Goldberg, no payoff. I'm so mad that you guys said it's happening and that we look like geniuses.
I know,
For
man.
those
I wasted
wondering-
money on a ticket, man.
Whatever.
Why are you
Whatever.
mad? I wasted my money.
You didn't waste your money. You got to see El Grande Americano. You might as well just walk
Exactly.
away after you saw El Grande. That's
I
all you
know.
want to see is El Grande.
For those wondering, we made Kenan believe that Goldberg indeed actually
hot.
returned to Backlash to come out and help Pat McAfee. And we texted him. We're like, it's happening. Oh my gosh. The
It is
greatest
so
thing
hot.
ever.
It is so hot in here. now.
Everyone's
I'm so
chanting
mad.
Goldberg.
Everyone's chanting
Oh,
Goldberg.
man.
Unbelievable. He said he's coming out with the fireworks. He's coming out with the firework. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
For the record, we do not regret it. It was hilarious.
Yep.
I love these guys. I'm not
Dude.
actually. Well, I was upset, but I'm okay. I'm over it now. I'm a grown man. I have to get over it faster than my 7-year-old would.
If you were upset because we tricked you into believing Goldberg was there, I was upset that he didn't come out because
I
that
am
made-
upset he didn't come out.
that's one of my theories that did not pan out. And so
I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, it should have happened.
it was probably too soon because that's a SummerSlam match. So
Yeah, it's a SummerSlam match. Watch him not even do it till where's WrestleMania at? New Orleans?
New
Oh,
Orleans,
wow.
yeah,
Where's Goldberg living at these days? He's not in Atlanta still, is he?
I would think so. Yeah,
I would say my favorite part about the Gunther and Pat match though was whenever Gunther literally Pat McAfee. You know?
Pat McAfee.
Do you remember whenever he was on the
Just
outside of
got
the
it.
ropes and he was patting him on the head? Gunther literally Pat McAfee.
He did.
Oh,
The-
that's right. Because of his son and football, he lives in Texas right now. That's right. That makes sense to be in those big high schools and stuff like that. Now
Mhm.
he's like, I think Gage is in college now or something. So
Gage
Yeah,
Goldberg.
so we're
that's the kid's
getting
name.
Gage Goldberg. Yep.
we'll talk about Raw, but the next PLEs are Saturday night's main event in
Yep.
2 weeks. Not this Saturday, next Saturday.
Crazy.
And then we got June 7th, like almost in another 2 weeks after that is Money in the Bank. And so that's
my
and
gosh,
then
it
after
is.
that,
Shawty, what you drank?
after that,
Dude, WWE. The funny thing is that was the very first theme for the first Money in the Bank.
Money,
money,
was
money,
that?
money, money.
Money in the Bank. Shorty, what you
How could
drank?
it not
Was it
be?
really?
Money in the Bank. It was. It came out that year. It
Wait
came
for the
out that
first
year.
PLE or the first match?
The first Money in the Bank.
Pay per view
PLE.
PLE.
Yes, yeah, the first time they ever did it.
Because when the match came out, it was a staple of WrestleMania.
Because I had that year's video Raw versus SmackDown video game, and that was in the video game too. So that's how I remember that. I think it was 2000. Was it 2007?
So when you said SmackDown versus Raw, that's the video game that came to my mind. Was the 2007 one, because that was like the most popular one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So yep, that makes sense. It was 2007 because it was 2006 whenever the Money in the Bank stuff happened. So yeah,
First match at WrestleMania.
Okay, there we go. No, it was the first. So the first Money in the Bank. Let me see here. The first Money in the Bank match was 2005. Let me see. Oh, I said match. I'm sorry. Pay-per-view. When did the Money in the Bank? We're doing this live, y'all. We're doing this live.
From 05 to 2010, it was on WrestleMania. And then in 2010, it became a pay-per-view.
This commercial is brought to you by the Triple Threat Theory podcast.
Okay, so Money in the Bank, the song by Swizz Beatz. Yeah, Swizz Beatz. That was in 2007 when Raw vs. SmackDown 2007 came out. But then they didn't use the Money in the Bank song until 2010 and the very first pay-per-view, I think.
Gotcha.
Am I right about that? Yeah.
2010, yes.
2010 was the first pay-per-view.
Yes.
But
yeah, I'm just gonna believe you. All right, I'm just gonna believe
the
you.
First, okay, the first match, like Money in the Bank that was ever happened was 2005 WrestleMania 21, and I believe was Edge the very first one because he cashed it in that January at New Year's resolution.
New Year's resolution. Revolution.
Yeah, on John Cena after the Elimination Chamber match that happened.
Yep.
Okay, we're getting there. I'm starting to get my memory back. There we go. I just needed to see.
All right. Raw was nothing much to do about. Pretty typical Raw. You had
that's why we're taking so much time talking about everything else. So
yeah. CM Punk come out with a he's always gold on the mic. Rollins interaction there. We had a beatdown breaker with Punk, and then Zayn comes out and makes the save. So it was announced on the broadcast that we're getting Rollins and Breaker versus Zayn and Punk,
which we called that
at Saturday night's main event.
That'll be fun.
So that one's
I think that's gonna be an awesome.
Yeah,
match.
that one should be good. That one should be good.
I think I know what. Okay, do we get?
Is this where we get the third guy?
We get the third guy at Saturday night main event because
also Jey Uso got involved in that brawl. He came for another save, so it was 3 versus 2. Do we get the third guy? Do we get Trick Williams?
You still think it's Trick? That's right. I forgot about that.
I still think it's Trick. Yeah,
that would be.
It might not be. He might be premature, but.
What's the?
Then could you imagine?
I don't know when the draft is.
3-man tag team with Trick Williams with them, and then let's say Jay jumps in with CM Punk and Sami Zayn.
So,
that would be crazy.
Do you think? Okay, you think that it could be Trick? What is that faction?
Dark State.
I still think he's the lead of that.
Oh.
I still think he's the lead of Dark State.
Bro, I didn't even think of that. I mean, they already got 4 guys though.
The dude turned heel, so it's like, he doesn't.
To add a 5th person to a stable.
I don't think he's actually been beat up by Dark State. That's why I keep on thinking that. Everybody else around him has been beaten up. But why is Trick Williams still standing?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We could talk about that.
Interesting theory. Yeah. So then we had Penta versus Chad Gable. No interference from El Grande Americano here for some reason. He didn't show up.
He's nothing special.
No, yeah. If you listen to Michael Cole, it's because they're the same person. But
I'm just saying,
I
like,
don't believe that, but
hey, y'all are crazy. Y'all are wild.
I mean, dude acts like he's
Let me
seen
just
him
put my
in the
mask
same
on
room
and
before.
comment then.
The night El Grande Americano made his very first appearance, we literally saw Chad Gable in the room with him.
we did actually. That is
Let me
true.
put a luchador mask
Kathy
on.
Kelly
and you
did
guys,
get.
let me put here for you two who think that is true. I'm just gonna put a luchador mask on, and you can call me El Grande Mochaccino. There you go. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, we're the same person, y'all. Like, it's a mask. He found him in the streets on a box. Remember that whole thing? That crazy.
No. It was given to him.
He bought it for $500.
It was given to him by one of the legends of Lucha Libre.
We still don't even know who that legend is that gave him that stupid mask.
Bro, I bet I know who it was.
Who gave him the mask, Tim?
El
Who gave him the
Vente Americano.
This is getting ridiculous. Shout out to the Starbucks orders.
A tall Americano.
Yeah, that's his son, dude.
Grande, Vente,
Venti, large Americano.
tall.
Bro, what would
Congratulations,
be
you're
even
stupid
better,
and
dude, is if Otis somehow shows up with a mask on and teams up with El
Bro.
Grande Americano. Like,
That would be funny. Otis in a mask is crazy. What do we have after that? We had is it the tag team match?
what do you guys think
War
about
Raiders,
War Raiders.
American made?
the little backstage stuff with Dom and Finn? Dom
Oh,
Dom
yeah,
called
they,
him out. Dom
there's-
called him out.
He called
He's
them
like-
out for you took too long. You hesitated on that thing. Yeah, they're teasing that.
Oh, they're teasing it bad.
And Dom mentioned El Grande Americano for like a minute. I think El Grande Americano is going to join. I think he's going to end up joining Judgment Day instead of being a part of American Made.
El Grande Americano is going to be part of Judgment Day, and then Chad Gable has its own faction with American Made. Okay, cool.
Yeah, why
Interesting.
couldn't
Very
you
interesting.
can't be in two different factions?
No, you can't. You can't.
That's just more evidence
You know,
for the case. You know what I
Let's
mean?
just put Omos in a mask and
Deontay.
call him Trente Americano, like
Trent.
the biggest one they have. Like just call him that, you know. Like,
Frente. That's hilarious.
Bro, Omos
Trente.
Americano.
oh my gosh.
Tag
We
team
had another-
match, American Made, War
Yeah.
Raiders,
Yeah.
American Made beat them, so they might be in line for a tag team title. New Day interfered, so that was that. We had the Jay promo. Gunther comes out. We're getting Jay Uso versus Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event.
And and there's no way that Logan's going to win that match. So can we really get Gunther versus Jay again for real for the fourth or fifth time? Like, come
So
on.
in that promo, he said, "Hey, I'm fighting whoever the winner is."
Yeah.
And so, but it's gonna be in 4 weeks. So not. Is it at Money in the Bank? Did he say Money in the Bank, or did he say on a random, just a regular Monday?
I think it was the weekend. The 7th is what he said. What's the 7th?
Yeah, it's Money in the Bank.
Oh, so then it's Money in the Bank.
So
Dang.
you're telling me that Jey Uso is going to fight a Saturday night main event at a big, at a semi, what a PLE halfway.
Yeah, it's like
PLE, a halfway
yeah.
PLE type of show, and then go to a major PLE and fight again.
Bro,
In
Wow.
2
that's
weeks.
what champions do, man.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is it 2 weeks? Yeah. But to Gunther, that's the third time and probably the fifth time we're gonna see Gunther versus Jey
For
Uso.
the fifth time. If you think about the Intercontinental Championship matches that they've had,
That's what I was
about,
thinking about. Yeah.
it's like the fifth time.
Yeah, and
Why are we doing this?
I'm getting tired of it. But
Like, that's terrible for that belt. It's terrible.
what else did we have on Monday? We
We
had
had Becky do another promo.
oh Becky cut a great promo.
Mhm.
Bro, she kind of
I think this is
felt
going.
like a CM Punk like promo for like a moment.
It
Yeah, she's
was,
great.
bro.
She's great on the mic.
It just shows you that there really isn't anyone who can match Becky right now.
No, not
Yeah.
no, not with the promos.
She
not with the build.
what she said was like, I've been here for 3 weeks and I've already made Lyra more important than she ever was. And I was like, yes, you have.
Yes, you
Dang.
have.
Yes, you
You did.
have.
That is there is no
And she's not
lies
wrong.
given.
No
There was
lies,
no lies given
at all,
on
bro.
that.
She was like, I
I didn't
lost,
ca-
but who was it that had to go to the hospital? I was like, I'm like, bro, who was it that was freaking still fighting after the bell?
bro.
She got the 1-2, like yeah, Lyra got the 1-2-3 and then got the beats like without even a second to like that was wild.
Yeah.
That was a weird finish. It's a
You
weird
know,
finish.
and the more you think about it, I agree with Tim. Like something happened there, like where it was weird the way it ended.
Did anybody? Yeah. Did anybody
I think
see-
they should end matches like that more often, where, because it made Becky look strong even though she lost.
Yeah.
Like, she took the pin, but she was like, "Oh heck no," and went back into beating. I was like, "Oh snap, yeah, get." I was like, "Okay, yeah." So I think that instead of like when they do those roll up finishes to protect people,
Yeah.
I think this should be what they do instead to protect people. Like, you want someone to win, but you don't want the other person to look weak. Like, do this, like 1, 2, 3, and then the beat up afterwards. It's pretty dope. I like it. What was after that? We had,
So you had
I know we
AJ
had something in
Styles.
between the main event. AJ Styles versus Finn. That's
Yep.
right. We had interference by the Judgment Day. Penta came out to
help AJ, right?
help AJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I was so happy to see AJ versus Finn. Those two are incredible.
it was a good
together.
match.
Yeah,
it was a good match.
Did Penta
And then after
have
that,
a match earlier in the night too?
actually he did. He fought
it was
Chad
him
Gable.
versus Chad Gable.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about
We
it.
Yeah,
did.
I was.
I
sitting there
talked
thinking,
about it
like,
because Americano didn't come in there to interfere, so
Yeah.
I don't
That
know
makes
why.
sense. I mean,
Yeah, Penta
if,
came out.
if Penta starts messing with the Judgment Day anymore, then there's gonna be reason for El Grande Americano to interfere with him later on. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
Uh,
You don't want that. You don't want that. We had a backstage promo or conversation between Punk and Zayn. How Punk doesn't trust anybody right now, and Zayn's like, "I get it, whatever. We're gonna work together. We're gonna do this." Hyping up their Saturday night's main event, and then we had Rollins give Breaker one last instruction before he left, or one last to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out later in the show that it was take out Jey Uso. And he took him out. Took him out in the back.
So is Jey
Zayn came for
Uso-
the rescue.
is Jey Uso injured and has to vacate the belt for Logan versus Gunther, and then Jey fights the winner of that? I don't think it's gonna happen, but
No, I mean neither. Yeah, but
Yeah.
a great theory.
yeah.
We did talk. We didn't. Speaking of backstage promos, Tozawa is not cleared, and we saw Sheamus have another one, and we already knew it was weird. It was weird. I'm sorry, WWE. I'm gonna call this out. You told us before that he was going against Grayson Waller. Then they did the promo, and he said, "How about I get a match with Grayson Waller?" It was already confirmed before that, I think.
Oh, they put the
Like,
graphic
they
and
messed
then the
it up.
interview.
Yeah, they messed that up.
That's funny.
Oh,
It was,
man.
so I mean, botch WWE on that one. But I see what they did there. The timing of Tozawa was talking about Rusev, and then Sheamus comes in. So I'm like, ooh, Rusev versus Sheamus, the League of Nations going
That might
against
be
each
good.
other. The old League of Nations. They used
Well,
to be
I
a
mean,
faction back then. So
If the rumors are true, I thought Alberto got fired. but-
I can't believe we haven't talked about this.
Yeah, so
I
we
gave you all
might get
the
a
text, I was like,
reunion.
what?
Wade Barrett's
don't
there
know.
on Wade Barrett's
d-
there on commentary, so we got all
know.
4 of them.
But I think here's my thing. I think that Alberto Del Rio. I think that
That
he's
was
going.
so gold, bro. So gold.
Yo, that dude with the sweet introduction. I think that they just got him because he's the AAA champion, and so I think he's just going to be really just getting. He has to have a WWE contract to even do anything with AAA. So I think he's just good. They can't. They can't. I heard somebody else say. So I can't say this is me. But they can't let go certain talent that people are upset with, and then bring in Alberto Del Rio after all he's done and just act like everything's okay. Like they can't
Right.
do that. It's not going to look good on
Yeah,
Triple
if
H's
you
part.
if you bring Alberto Del Rio on WWE TV, not
Yes,
AAA
not
TV,
AAA. He needs to stay
on
on AAA.
on WWE TV, then you have no reason to keep Velveteen Dream away.
Velveteen Dream, and then of course, like the people who haven't done anything like that. Man, Velveteen Dream, wow,
That was
that dude.
that was a star in the making, and whatever happened,
Yeah,
he hasn't been
yeah,
charged. There's nothing against him,
yeah.
and
So it's like you can't do that. And I just don't think that Triple H is that stupid to do that. I think he had
yeah,
to do
I
what
think
he
he'll
did.
stay in AAA. I think he'll stay in
I think
AAA.
he's staying in Triple
He'll
A.
have a WWE contract, like you said, but he'll
Yeah,
stay on
yeah,
AAA TV.
yeah.
He
That's
might
just for him
get
to have a paycheck.
showcased on that Lucha Libre thing on June 7th too, because they're having 2 shows that day.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
then the I think that's everything, and then the main event was the tag team match,
The tag team match we knew was going to happen. Yeah.
which, bro,
feel like
Julia
it delivered.
and Roxanne Perez, and they've been on Raw for what 2-3 months or weeks,
Weeks. Yeah.
and they main evented Monday Night Raw,
Crazy.
and
And
they
they
delivered.
deserved it.
That match was really good.
There was
deserved
one
it.
thing that happened that I saw that was really funny, and it just kind of felt like an inexperienced thing, which I'll share in a second.
What?
Well, it's
Um,
whenever
don't think-
Rhea was on like the top of like the turnbuckle, and then
Turnbuckle?
she was about to. I don't know who it was. Was it Roxanne or Julia that was with her?
It was Roxanne. I know what
Roxanne.
you're talking about.
And
Roxanne.
she turns around and then she goes to like punch Rhea, but she completely whiffed and missed nowhere near punching Rhea. And Rhea had to sell without
Did
even
Rhea
looking.
sell it? She had
She
to
had
to
sell
sell
it.
it.
Yeah.
She
That's
like
going to be on
barely
Botchamania
did.
this week.
Yeah, like Roxanne goes
Yeah.
and like just completely missed. I'm
That's
like, how
why
do you miss that?
I'm that's why I don't like top of the turnbuckle like action, because it could go wrong. So like one time LA Knight, he does this thing where he jumps to the top of
Jumps.
the
Yeah.
he
fell
missed
off.
yeah, he fell off, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, it's cool, but jeez. No, but that main
Yeah.
event delivered. Rhea and Io can do no wrong,
Yeah.
and apparently so can Julia or Roxanne. I think they're
I've
going
always
to
been
be.
a Roxanne fan. I've always been a Roxanne fan.
She actually won me over today because I wasn't really like sold on her,
Okay.
but
Yeah, I've always been a Roxanne fan.
she rocked it. She rocked it for real.
Yeah.
She rocked it. It was a really good main event. They're still teasing Rhea, Io,
Rhea, Io.
and so that's cool. We did get some news about Money in the Bank qualifying matches starting next week. They didn't give out who was going to be in those matches, but
Yeah,
we
they
got
gotta start
qualifying.
Start those out quick.
They do, because they got to pump them out real quick.
Man.
They might do like 3 a night or something. Yeah, it
I'm
was
sure-
it was a solid Raw. Nothing
Yeah.
too crazy.
They've been going hard in
Um,
the paint since WrestleMania, so it was about time we had like a good but not like what in the world is going on Raw, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
pretty
mean,
chill.
This is what I tell people who are like, man, this Raw sucked. I'm like, hey, listen, when you go up to bat in a baseball game, you're not gonna hit a home run every time. Sometimes it's just a single.
Yep, 100%.
You keep the lineup moving. You know, that's what we're doing. Just keep the lineup moving. I'm sure it'll pick up in the summer when they build towards SummerSlam. But in between now and SummerSlam, I think they got 3-4 other PLEs. You got Saturday night's main event, if we count that as a PLE.
Yeah.
You got Money in the Bank in LA. I think you got Saudi show somewhere in there. Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, Night of Champions.
I think that's
For
in June.
some
or
reason I kept
July.
wanting to say
in
Crown
June.
Jewel or something.
See, but
Is
it's
that-
weird because they moved Crown Jewel to Australia
Really?
in October now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in October.
And that was always a Saudi show.
Hmm.
I guess they're not doing King of the Ring this year because that was usually around this time.
Ooh.
There's a Paris show, but is it after SummerSlam? Trying
Paris
to
show.
think what we have until SummerSlam.
So this was 10 hours ago. This is just it's not for sure. But there's a possibility in July that they're going to do the the uh, the women's PLE.
Oh,
Just
really?
an all women one.
An all women's PLE July 12th in Atlanta, Georgia is a possibility.
No, man, bring it back to St. Louis. Learn your lesson. You know what I mean?
No. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what
Let's see.
happens.
Yeah. So
Man.
Oh,
Worlds
that's funny. That's funny.
Worlds Collide, Money in the Bank on June 7th. Night of Champions in Saudi on June 28th. Then you got another Saturday night's main event in July.
Dang, bro. How many
And then-
Saturdays?
And then if Kenan's right, you got the Evolution pay-per-view. Then you got SummerSlam August 2nd and 3rd. And then after that is the Paris show, Clash in Paris. And then there's Crown Jewel and the Survivor Series. Those are the ones that are confirmed for.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people talking about this, about Evolution coming back in July. That's crazy. Of course, they're going to say that it's going to be on July 12th, which is the same thing as there's an all-in pay-per-view that's going on at the same time.
Oh, snap.
Oh, that's the one in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first one they're doing. The first All In I think they're doing here. No.
No.
First All In that they're doing in the States in a stadium. That's what it is.
Are they
because
in
the
a-
la-
are they in AT&T?
No, they're in one of the Globe Life. Either the current Ranger Stadium or the previous. No, the current Ranger Stadium. They're doing it in the Texas Rangers stadium.
Oh,
Doing it in a baseball field.
Oh, snap, dude.
interesting. We'll see if we'll see if that goes well.
Yeah, we got a jam-packed calendar of events and a lot of story to get through. So we'll see if some of our theories pan out. You know, the way I formulate my theories is I'm trying to get into Triple H's head because for me I'm like you always think that they're trying to build towards the bigger shows for the bigger
Mhm.
matches and the bigger payoffs.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, between now and SummerSlam, what are the big marquee matchups that you can make? How do we get there? That's
Yeah.
kind of like how I think they think. So that's why we mention a Goldberg. That's why we mention, okay, are they gonna take a title off of someone now between now and SummerSlam? Because on a PLE like that, that's usually when you do title changes.
Yeah.
Is on big ones like that, and so I don't expect any titles to change hands on a Saturday night's main event.
How many?
So
Unless it's unless it's an intercontinental, or a women's
Well, see,
intercontinental, women's U.S.
the only
championship.
title change that has happened in the last was a Saturday night's main event, I think in December, or it was in January actually, was when they were crowning the first women's United States champion with Chelsea Green. So I guess that was a title change, but it was the inaugural. So, but it should still be good shows, good matches, and so we're building. Theories
Man.
coming.
When do you
But
guys
let us know
think?
your theories in the chat and see what you guys got going on. And
Yeah. Always. When do you guys
Yep.
think Cody's gonna return?
dang, I
I'm
really
glad he
thought he would come on Saturday.
I'm glad he didn't come on Saturday. It's
Yeah.
too early. It's got to be the right time.
Honestly, I feel like the longer it
Um,
is, the sweeter it's gonna be. But
Yeah.
So he's advertised for Money in the Bank.
he
I'll
is.
just put that out there. He's on the flyer.
Hey. I think he could win
He's
the
not
Money in
gonna
the
be in the
Bank.
He's not going to be in the Money in the Bank match. He doesn't need it.
How does the Money
I'm
in the
still
Bank?
saying that. He doesn't-
I can't remember the last time I paid fully attention to it
Okay.
as more of a WWE casual. How many
Okay.
how many
6.
people are in it? 6. Okay. Is it like
Yeah.
Well,
Royal Rumble style?
there've
like
been
all,
years where there've been years where they've had 7 or 8 at one
Yeah.
point.
But
Okay.
I
But
think
it's
been s-
usually 6. Like that's
Yep.
the usually 6. But they all start in the ring. Everyone
Mhm.
starts, and you fight. The objective is you climb a ladder and you grab the briefcase. So the first person to grab the
Yeah.
briefcase is Mr. Money in the Bank, Miss Money in the Bank, whatever. So it's just a bunch of ladders. You could use tables. It's no DQ match. So it goes bananas sometimes. Man. It goes crazy.
Think
Yeah.
of this. All right. Our
You get the
truth.
briefcase. You get the briefcase. You get the briefcase, and then now you have a contract for a full year. You can use it. So like
Right.
a full year. So that means that until the next Money in the Bank in 2026, that's how
Can
long you
cash
get
it in. Yeah.
to
To
cash it in.
Tim's point, I don't know if I think I know what he was about to say or the theory. I want you to give your theory yet, but there has been a moment or a match where someone who wasn't Kenyn, correct me if I'm wrong. Was Brock Lesnar in that match?
No,
When he wasn't in that match,
he went up
but
there,
he
took the
just came
friggin'
out and
yeah.
grabbed the briefcase. Yeah. Now
But
there's
I
no
think,
scenario where I
but I
see
think
Cody doing that, but there is grounds for someone to just come in and grab the briefcase. Now Brock Lesnar's Brock Lesnar, so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
But go
remember
ahead
if
with
they.
your
I'm trying to
theory, Tim.
before. Yeah, but was there 6 people in that match, or was there somebody who got taken out and he was the 6th person?
Let me see, because I think was it 2021 Money in the Bank? No, I think it
Was
was before that.
2019?
I think it was a 19 one. Yeah, it was a 19 one.
Okay. So, what if I don't know if there's even time. to
There it
build
is.
this
You were
up.
right. You were right, Kenyn. Sami Zayn was supposed to be in that match, but a replacement was not announced
Yep, that's what it is.
until
Until he showed
uh,
up.
sh- uh yeah,
Yep,
making
that
him
makes sense.
Raw's unannounced 4th participant. Yeah. See,
You know
that
who's
match had 8 people.
You know who's supposed to be in that? You know who's supposed to win that thing that year?
Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, man.
He
Yep.
had the briefcase in his hand.
He was up there and he had it in his
Yeah.
hands, and then boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that whole thing.
I miss that song. I miss him.
Here's what's crazy about that ending is like nobody was gonna stop Mustafa Ali to get that thing. I would have rushed my little butt off and got that thing off of there and got out of there. But he was so shook up that he was
Yeah.
just one of these.
What if? All right. So, similar situation. Someone can't compete, and they go, "We need someone else to return for, or we need someone else to be in this Money in the Bank match." Cody returns. It's not announced. It's just his music starts playing, and he runs out there. Everyone goes nuts. He's got a serious look on his face though, like he is not like there to mess around and be like the showman, like the face like he normally is. He goes in there, wrestles, gets the briefcase, leaves, doesn't say a word to anybody. You just know, like, man, this guy means business. You know what I'm saying? So down the line, maybe let's say John Cena's retirement match night, whatever it is. Cody has had this Money in the Bank briefcase for like a while, and it's become something to where like people forgot that it's even out there.
Usually what happens.
R-Truth tries to, stop Cena interfere, whatever it is, maybe because he's, wanting to get back at his his mentor. He realizes that, this is not who Cena is, whatever the case is. Somehow stops him, or even like the match, like John Cena's really beat up, whatever the case is. Whether it's R-Truth or whoever John Cena is facing on that night, they beat John Cena up pretty good in order for John to barely get by with winning, and he's like exhausted. Maybe like R-Truth helps out Cody in a way. Helps beat up John Cena to kind of get his revenge for flipping him through the table. And then Cody comes out, gets the belt, pins John, obviously, with the Money in the Bank, and he gets on the microphone and says, "John, I beat you, and I didn't even have to wrestle."
That's a cold line.
Right?
That's a cold line.
I don't know
That's a
how
cold
I
line.
don't know how you could get there, but if he says something like that to John, just to kind of get like
Yeah.
the belt back on him, like as John leaves too, let it be. You know what I mean?
Well, apparently or supposedly, the last PLE of the year is it a Saturday night's main event
Main event in Boston.
in Boston?
It's in his
What?
hometown.
That's his hometown
Yeah.
too.
So is that
He's
yeah
from Newbury,
West
Massachusetts,
Newbury,
right
but
outside of
Boston?
Boston. Yep.
So that should be his, go home PLE. The question is, will he be champion on that one and lose it to, person unknown? That's the theory. It'll become more clear once we realize, like, in my mind, the proper opponent for John Cena at SummerSlam is CM Punk.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
At where?
That is at SummerSlam. That is the
Oh.
opponent for. I think that's the opponent for John
Is
Cena at
Is he scheduled for
SummerSlam.
Money in the Bank to have a match?
Punk?
No, Cena.
Cena's scheduled to be at Money in the Bank, though.
I'm telling you, they go to do Punk and Cena. They need to go where it all happened
I like that.
at a Money in the
I'm
Bank.
with you. But like I was saying earlier, I think the bigger ticket is you need to sell out MetLife instead of the Intuit Dome,
Yeah.
Who would you put at SummerSlam for Cena then, if not Rhodes?
Seth Rollins maybe.
Like that could Rollins
Yeah.
versus Cena, two heels.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
This
the only other other one that makes sense is a returning Roman Reigns, another Reigns Cena, because
would be good.
I do want to see Cena versus Styles one more time. Just unless you're taking these next 2 months to build AJ back up to the main card, there's no logical way to get him to Cena right now. Plus,
Yeah.
they're on different shows. Styles is on Raw and Cena is on SmackDown. So if it's not Punk, if you do Punk at Money in the Bank, then you have to do Roman at SummerSlam, because that's the only like marquee matchup.
Could
Unless you
when is SummerSlam?
August.
So what if Gunther gets the belt back from Jay? Hang on. I don't know if this is gonna make any sense.
I did
actually.
read somewhere that they were gonna move Roman to the world title picture.
Gotcha.
Can you imagine Roman versus Jay at SummerSlam?
That'd be
Jeez.
crazy. What I was thinking was like, what's the Night of Champions thing or whatever? I think that would be more appropriate. Gunther versus John Cena, if you do like those two versus each other.
That would be a good match.
But I'm trying to think, like, would you get Gunther, like, I'm sorry, Gunther, would you get him to beat Jay then, and then him have the belts going into it, and then let Jay kind of be like the
crazy, but
face? Bro's not even paying attention.
I'm sorry. I'm just flabbergasted by the fact that there's 2 PLEs in June. That's crazy.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, all right, let's make a definition. Are we counting Saturday night main events as PLEs?
Is it on Peacock? Or is
No,
it on
it's on NBC. It's on TV, but you can stream it on Peacock.
Yeah, I'm calling that a PLE.
Yeah.
So it was part of their contract with NBC Universal when they signed the 5 years for SmackDown to move it from Fox to USA. NBC was like, we want 4 annual like prime time events, and they brought back Saturday Night Main Event. So it's on NBC, like, but you can stream it on Peacock. It's like Sunday Night Football when you watch it.
Yeah.
You can watch it on TV. You can watch it on Peacock.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of I don't know what's next for John, at least, because I don't really know what's being built up. It's kind of hard. I mean, when does John come back next? Does he have like another like just regular night he's come back for?
I don't think he's confirmed for this Friday. I think he's confirmed for the next week,
Gotcha.
which is the one in Tampa. No, Savannah,
Savannah, Georgia.
because Saturday is in Tampa, Monday's in Tampa, S- Saturday's Tampa, Sunday's Tampa, Monday's Tampa, Tuesday's Tampa. That whole week. Yeah. So
Okay.
he's confirmed for that weekend,
Gotcha.
all weekend,
Yeah,
You're talking
except
about
the Sunday.
I feel like we
So
have to see
we won't get
Roman
to hear
versus Cena
Cena
at one
on
point.
Friday. I do. So I'll list it out. We need to see Roman Cena one more time.
Yep.
Cena Styles one more time. Cena Punk one more time. Is there anyone else that we need to see? In a perfect world, we'd
So-
see Cena Gunther, but
So the next
they're
time that
both
we
heels
see,
right now.
So you're not going to see John Cena on another SmackDown or Raw until after Saturday Night Main Event.
So I think like
Yes,
So Saturday Night Main Event is the next time you're going to see him. Then you're going to see him in Knoxville, Tennessee on the 30th. And
that's
he's
what
going
it
to be
is.
at Money in the Bank.
Yep.
So literally, if he does have a match at Money in the Bank, he's got one day that
To
he's going to
promo
be
it?
on television to even do any type of promo or anything.
So-
They didn't really build. They didn't really build Orton Cena one last time. They said it could be could be the very last time. I think we might get Cena Orton one more time,
that'd be cool. I do think
especially the way it ended, all those RKO's.
if anyone's gonna
They
get
kind of.
the belt off of Jay, I think it's gonna be Gunther, and that would be probably the only reason you would have Gunther versus John Cena if they both have belts, even though they're both heels, right? At the was it Night of Champions?
Don't mind Kenyn. The Warriors just lost, so
Really?
No, they haven't lost. They're I was saying no about the Gunther thing again. And
Oh,
yes, the
okay.
Warriors are losing by 20 after the third quarter.
No, so like
I don't wanna talk
Gunther
about it,
versus
Barry.
John, like in front of that crowd, because isn't the Night of Champions that champion versus champion type thing?
Yes,
no, it's
no?
it's when every title's defended.
that's what it is. That's what
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Well,
what you're
then-
thinking is Crown
The
Jewel
Crown
was when
Jewel.
they did champion versus champion, and the Crown Jewel champion, which has never come back around at all.
Yeah.
Well, because
That was whenever it was
Also-
Cody
it's-
versus.
here's
Gunther.
the weirdest part. Here's the weirdest part about that. They're doing Crown Jewel in Australia, right?
In Australia, yes, but the championships are in.
The championship is in Saudi Arabia,
It doesn't.
and it's
make
locked
any
up in Saudi Arabia.
But Cody
and
Rhodes
it's
and
not
Liv
supposed to
Morgan have
leave.
the ring.
It's not supposed
But-
to leave. So what are they going to
but
do? Just
ne-
give out rings and not have anybody hold the belt no more, unless they actually have somebody who's going to bring the belt, bring it back.
Yeah, but
to
the
Saudi?
people who are the Crown Jewel champions are no longer champions right now,
I know.
so they can't defend their title.
What is this? A Madden curse? It's like don't win the Crown Jewel. Like
You gotta
belt, or
defend
else
your
you're
ring,
gonna
dude.
lose
Don't win the
actual belt?
Crown Jewel.
Defend the ring,
Don't
brother.
win the Crown Jewel, you'll lose.
That's
You'll lose.
crazy.
Man.
All right, y'all.
Crazy stuff.
Well, I feel like we've talked a lot about everything. We got a lot coming up. Of course, like we'd like to know what you guys think about everything that we just talked about tonight. Let us know in the chat here, whether it's live or if you guys go back to watch this. Of course, we have our Instagram. You guys are gonna go follow. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon, so that you can always get to the up-to-date, content that we have going on here at Triple Threat. I could not think of the word. It just
I was
that
just letting you
means it's
go,
time to
man.
to bed. It's just time to go to bed right there because I cannot think of the word right there. But guys, we are so thankful that you guys are rocking with us every single week. Again, you can always find us consistently and constantly here after Raw on Mondays, the three of us talking about all the things that are going to happen throughout the week. And again, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, and then of course follow us on Instagram. It has been awesome being able to be with our wrestling community. And until next time, have a great night. And look at that, I finally did the peace sign and no balloons showed up. That's a great
Let's
way to end.
go. I was